DJ Gam from Koseta. Do you remember that her presentation is on effectively boosting students' English speaking pronunciation and fluency? Let's welcome now with a round of applause.
Now let's start my presentation. Just watch the video clip. Why are we standing here? We're waiting for you to open the door. You've got the key. No, I don't. Yes, you do. When we left, you said, got the keys. No, I didn't. I asked, got the keys? No. You said, got the keys. Got the keys. Okay, this is the very famous sitcom called Friends. And as you can see, got the key is such a simple sentence, but they have difficulty understanding each other, even when they are native speakers. So what does it imply? It means even if you have lots of information about English, such as grammar, vocabulary, idioms, communication breakdown can still occur. So like the conversation between Rachel and Monica from the video clip, the way you say things has a large influence on the way you are able to convey yourself. So that is why I decided to focus on teaching intonation. So intonation, according to Dorothy Chan, intonation is a powerful tool for negotiating meaning, managing interaction, and achieving discourse coherence. So as I said, it is about how we say things rather than what we say. And it is a pattern of rises and falls in pitch, like tomorrow is another day, or aren't you coming with us? And intonation has 4 functions. So first one, second one, 4 functions. And I am planning to focus on teaching last 2 functions, discourse functions and attitudinal function. Discourse function is related to context where sentences occur. And the attitudinal function is used to convey emotion, attitude, and feelings. So let's look at the example. Now, we are going to listen. Please, listen. You know Shrek? Now Shrek is going to say hello to some people. But first, let's listen how he say hello to someone he really, really loves. In this case, loves. In this case, Fiona.
Hello.
And say hello to someone he doesn't like.
Hello.
And to his baby girl.
Hello.
So, simple hello conveys very different meaning depending on the situation and depending on the person you're talking to or how you feel about them. So this is about intonation. And then I started thinking what my students are capable of when it comes to English. My students, in this case, high school students, can read this long paragraph with very difficult vocabulary in it. They can read this long paragraph and find out main idea or topic or any questions related to the paragraph. And amazingly, they can do this in about, 90 seconds. So if learners have this kind of remarkable ability, I thought they could easily acquire what I'm going to teach. So next question was then how I'm going to teach intonation. So first thing to do is to provide them with many different kinds of listening ability, listening materials, so that they can discriminate the difference. And then ask them to practice speaking what they listen, and the task can involve controlled, guided, and communicative practice. Well, authentic material is a very important component to consider because students can be more motivated and more interested when they are dealing with things related to their real lives. And reading or reciting text aloud can be also a useful activity. And of course, multisensory notes, because every student responds to information differently. And the last one can be recordings of their own production. By recording their own speech, students can be consciously aware of how they sound when speaking English. So with this in mind, I performed a little experiment. First, let's look at the video clip.
Can we keep a please?
No.
What is a talking dog?
Well, it's my favorite. It's a Disney animation called Up. And I showed this short video clip to one of my students and asked him to read the script aloud. Well, there's no video clip. Well, I wanted to show you how my students read the video clip because there's a Okay, as you can see, the voice from the animation shows very strong emotion. But my student, he's quite good at speaking English, but when he read the script aloud, his speech carried a very flat monotone, lack of emotion. So then I started thinking, what happened? What was the problem? Then I remembered when I recorded his speech, he kept saying, oh, this is embarrassing, this is embarrassing. Then I realized, even if learners have high communication ability, it does not necessarily mean they are willing to communicate. So I start looking at this problem by considering affective domain, in this case, their language ego. So language ego is an identity a person develops in reference to a language he speaks. So language ego may account for difficulties learners encounter when they learn a foreign language. So if learners have high language ego, they are not afraid of making mistakes in front of others, and they are more willing to make multiple attempts to increase their language comprehension. But, however, if language ego is low and fragile, they are less willing to try challenging tasks and more prone to quit if they encounter difficulty. So especially if your learners are going through puberty, like our students, then they may already feel insecure about themselves and nervous about how others perceive them. So that is why I came up with the voiceover technique. So voiceover is dubbing your voice over the already finished piece of work. I mean, technically, you are taking out the audio of the past speaker's voice and replacing it with your own voice. So my goal with this voiceover technique is to provide students with an environment where he will not worry about damaging their language ego. I mean, by staying behind the screen like voice actor, they need not worry about losing their faces in front of other peers. And hopefully, it will give them a chance to improve their pronunciation. And also, they will be able to better concentrate on expressing emotions. Well, with this technique, hopefully they will enjoy learning English. So then I asked the student who read the script. Unfortunately, you didn't see the video clip. Anyway, I asked him to perform voiceover with the same script. Hopefully, I And hopefully you can see that video clip. Because he did an amazing job. Can you open my Sajin folder and click number 1? Number 1. Maybe, please, can you click number
Can we keep?
number 3 first? Number 3.
Can we keep him, please? It's a talking dog.
Or so. No, that's the
Can we
first
keep
step.
him,
He read the
please?
script. And then I asked him to perform a voiceover. So please click number 1 file.
Can we keep him, please, please, please? No. But it's a talking dog.
Impressive, isn't it? He is trying to express emotion as a boy in the video clip. Now,
Can we keep him, please, please, please? No.
yeah, this is the voiceover technique. And my project this year will have 3 stages. And first one is called basic stage. Okay, in this stage, students first learn functions in the language, functions in the textbook, and try to practice how to pronounce example sentences depending on the situation they would be in. And then they will perform voiceovers with pre-made scripts. And then, next stage is called the advanced stage. In this stage, students will create their own scripts, so this will help them to practice writing as well. And they will also continue to practice speaking and perform voiceover with their own scripts. And the last stage is called immersion stage. This is a time for students to immerse behind the script. So this can be the culmination of the work up to this point. And in this stage, students will actually engage in an actual conversation. And every task they will do will be recorded, and every task will be completed in group work. And every time students will make voiceover dialogue video clips, I will ask them to upload their video clips on the website and have them make a comment on their own work, such as difficulties or enjoyable aspects of their work. And then teachers also make comments, and peers also make comments as well. So hopefully this process will enhance the interaction between participants and give positive feedback to each other. And then hopefully this will turn into a healthy competition and also create a desire for students to maximize their achievement. Well, actually this project will be quite challenging for me because teaching intonation is not a simple task. The reason is different situations allow you to express in a variety of ways. And I myself am quite knowledgeable, but still have gaps in understanding of intonation that I need to study more. But however, I cannot necessarily perfect everything by myself, so that I work in collaboration with my students to increase my understanding of intonation. And my ultimate goal here is not make my students speak like native speakers, but to give them tools they need to understand better about English intonation. So this is the main idea of my project, and like this year's Koseta's title, from this idea, I will apply multiple activities and techniques to an actual classroom, and to help them to increase their speaking ability and enjoy studying English. And hopefully, with this voiceover technique, students will boost their autonomy in learning. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for the insightful presentation. Considering a factor domain, practicing pronunciation, and a various multimedia were very effective in improving students' English speaking ability. So do you have any questions for this presentation? If you have any questions, please raise your hand. All right, and let's give her a big hand again. We're going to move on to the next presentation. The next presenter is Ms. Kim Yoon-sun. She's from Koseta. The title of our presentation is We Love Supporting Our Students. Let's give her a big hand.
Hello, my English teachers. I'm very honored to be here in front of so many English teachers. I really hope I can give you some practical ideas in this presentation. Look at my title, The Small Chinese Improvement, Various English Contest at School. It took me much time to decide the topic. At first, I tried to find it inside the classroom, but nothing special did come to me. So I thought of my jobs in school. One of my jobs in school is a school contest. So I think English contest can give you good source for our English teachers. As you know, there will be no students who having hard time than our Korean high school students. They are very stressed with various activities. Grades in school, Korean SAT scores, club activities. Club activities and various performance evaluation. We teachers cannot be separated from our students. I always thought we teachers are helpful for our students. We have to help them, encourage to study. We have to help them with their subjects, and we have to give them much information about university education. There are many things we can do for our students. But these days, already the previous teachers mentioned about that. These days, our students is very stressed with this admission officer system. This system is that admission officer evaluates not only grades and scores, but also individual background, special abilities, social relationship, logicality, initiative spirit, potential talent, creativity, extracurricular experience, recommendation letters, and on, interviews, etc. This system is considered as a creative and comprehensive way to select the students. But thanks to this system, our busy students are under another stress of building up their academic and extracurricular resumes. I know some of you are against this system, and some of you may ask me why I'm trying to step with this undesirable system. But this system is already fixed. It's decided. This system is not avoided. So we have to go with this system. So as an English teacher, I'll just focus on how we can help our students to enhance their academic and extracurricular resumes, regardless of its controversial situation in our education system. I think we can have, I thought about it for a long time. I thought for a long time how we can help our students to enhance their academic and extracurricular system. I think the English contest can be one of the activity we can do for our students. Maybe students on the spoil ground, 교내 영어 경시대회, and the king of vocabulary contest is the 단어왕 경시대회. But these days, these kind of contests are not enough for our current students. These days, the English contests have to be more special and more specific. So I think of various English contests. So I want to say this kind of this English contest can help enhance our students' academic and extracurricular resume and their interest in English. So I think about these structures. Okay. At first, we have to decide the contents of the contest. I want to check the 4 English skills: listening, reading, speaking, and writing. And then we have to make the title of each contest. The English title is very important because when we have to see the English contest, then we have to know the contents of the contest. So I need my students' brilliant ideas. So I tell my students, if they have a good idea related to English contest and their ideas is selected as one of our English contests, and then the students can get a good comment on their transcript of school record. These days, the transcript of school record is very important to our students. So it got much attention from our students. They showed their brilliant ideas to English teachers. So, okay, these are the English titles my students submitted as a school English contest. There are more than that. And among them, our English teachers choose these 6 contests, considering English 4 skills. First 3 English contests goes with the Korean title, like 영어 에세이 쓰기 대회, 영어 토론 대회, 영어 말하기 대회, and the other 3 contests goes with English title. When I show the plan about our English contest to school, at first our school rejected the English title. They thought it's unusual. So I persuaded my vice principal. So these days the professors can understand that kind of English level. So the other 3 titles go with the English title. Now our school accepted this English title. And then, after deciding the English title, we have the procedure of the each contest. When are the contests held? And how we select the students? Who will judge the students? How we can get students' attention about the contest? When do we post the contest on school homepage? We need to elaborate the procedures of each contest. Please press the button. And then, lastly, we have to make the criteria of each contest. To evaluate the students, we need criteria. But the criteria have to be changed according to the content of the contest. I know these school contests will be limited to the students who are willing to participate in the school contest. And our busy English have to do more job in school. But I feel this contest will give us very rewarding feelings. And our students need this English title on their academic and extracurricular resume when they enter the university. And even if they fail to win an award in the contest, it will be a very good experience. So they can write about this experience on their self-introduction statement. At first, I started with this project because I want to insert our students' academic and extracurricular resume. So I really hope this through this contest will help our students to enter the university and are going step forward their meaningful life. This year, I will study very hard on this project, and I really hope I can give you some useful and detailed results this summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kim, for your wonderful presentation. I think it was a really good idea to let the students generate ideas about English contest. And I also realized that a school can provide the students with such a variety of extracurricular activities. So do you have any questions for Ms. Kim's presentation? If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Thank you very much, Ms. Kim. Let's move on to the next presentation. The next presenter is Ms. Choi Yumi from Koseta. Her presentation is on speaking English through receipts as a tourist guide. Please give her a round of applause.
Hello everyone, how are you? Please ask me again. Thank you, pretty good. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to be here. My name is Yumi Choi, one of the English teachers in Gyeongsang Middle School from Koseta. And could you recognize what it is? Qualification license or driver's license? More than that, related to the title. What kind of qualification license could you guess? Yes. This is tourism employee license and it's only a tourist guide. Today, I'm going to talk about speaking English through 3Cs and tourist guide. Before jumping into the presentation, I'd like to start with a simple question. So, please put up your hand if you teach English speaking in your classes. Be honest. Be honest. There are less teachers than I expected. And my question is, why? Why English speaking should be taught in classes? The reason is that we live in a global village or an international society. Concerning love and separation, others' sadness cannot be absolutely their own things. They are part of a list, or they are myself. Feel glad the sorrow makes me nod and try to understand what is not all glad, and ultimately go dead into the story. Human feelings are all alike. The necessity of English is not just for my students. It is part of a list of my experience as a student and a teacher. The overlap desire each other makes me nod, try to understand what is not all glad, and ultimately state in the common situation. So, I'd like to begin with my voice from my personal experience as well as from my recognition of the lack of my experience, as well as from my recognition of the lack of educational research in the development of English education. I was always dissatisfied with my work as an EFL, English as a foreign language teacher. There were many questions in my mind. It seemed even torturous to me with so many unanswered questions. There was a reason for my dissatisfaction with my work and the emergence of the questions. It was speaking in English. I really wanted to speak spontaneously from my deep structure in my mind. At last, the first 10 years after I taught English at secondary school, I decided to do a master's degree in Kassel, teaching English as second language in the English department at the University of Kentucky, but a whole finding about education system and learning environment. Yeah. But the real life in a foreign country was bitter, unlike the American dream. When I was exposed to an English-speaking country, America, for the first time in my life, I was a whole-lost EFL learner. People have different appearances, eat different food, communicating with different manners and values, and above all, spoke English all the time. It was the biggest difference. Recently, for the last 3 or 4 years, the Korean government has announced National English Unit Test might be replaced with English questions, which is CSAT in 2015. And this test assesses for English skills: writing, listening, speaking and writing, listening and reading. So we cannot avoid a huge flow of the change which is drifting along Korea, the practical English, as well as for real English. So that's why English speaking should be taught in classes. Then for my teaching experiences with the advanced English level of the second grade, I struggled with designing and implementing a variety of approaches to speaking. Actually, the sound is so loud. So I recommend this wonderful project, Speaking English Through Disease and Trust a Guide. Speech delivery project. Then, how can a student become a trust a guide? It's possible with the first C, the second C, and the final C. You're very familiar with the 3 C's, right? Forget about that. This time, different story, okay? So, can you guys guess what the 3 C's are? Maybe no, I'll tell you. The first, speech delivery project is connection. Second, speech delivery project is confidence. And the final C, speech delivery project is communication. Now, let's get started with the first C. Speech delivery project is yes, you remember very well. Thank you. Connection to regular speaking classes. It means it's connected to the textbook. Great Confucius said, by 3 methods, we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is bitterest. And I chose the bitterest way by experience. Knowledge regarding Korean culture is familiar to us because it is accumulated and conceptualized from domestic education at an early age. We feel more comfortable in treating and expressing our traditional culture than exposed to any Western exotic civilization to develop English environment. By making an effort like this, we Koreans can escape from isolation and insulation caused by the English language barrier and great significance of an opportunity to broaden our territory in the English-dominated world with compromise and negotiation with the English language and Korean culture. By studying emotional of our traditional culture, we are able to activate and utilize reducing the tension on English immersion course. Related to the topic of our traditional culture within a lesson from the textbook, students have a one speaking session. The topic, here's the guide. Actually, as I said, I'm a tourist guide. This is an American soldier. Actually, do you still remember the time when you served in the army? Yeah? Like the clock in the military, time went by slower. You invest into jobs and money. Right. Forget about that. I'm sure it was just for my English speaking. 100%. Okay? And so can you guys guess what a tourist guide is? Yeah? As you said, a tourist guide is a person who guides visitors in the language of their choice, interprets the culture and natural heritage in the language of their choice, normally issued and recognized by the appropriate authority. So, I believe a series of process to obtain license is very, very effective in improving my English speaking because tourism is a study of training all of our life, and tourism is life itself. Related to the topic of our traditional culture within a lesson from the textbook, the students have one speaking session. The topic could be our traditional food, costume, temple, famous place, festival, and seasonal holidays. Each speaking session consists of 3 class hours. But if it may be longer than that, or if it is a very, very long time to finish the student's process, and they might take it outside of classroom, then they spend their time. So this research will be done for 1 semester. Then I'll show you how speaking class goes on in detail. Like this picture, students have a chance to take brainstorming about related topic in each team, made up of 5 or 6 members, and to that interest a native speaking teacher in class. They may write down to organize systematically what they want to speak. This could be the first stage for a longer speech. Now let's move on to the second stage. Speech development project is. Wow, great. Thank you very much. An American author Dale Carnegie said, in action breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy. Only the prepared speaker deserves to be confident. Don't be afraid to achieving your small jobs. Every time you conquer one, it makes you that much stronger. If you do the little jobs well, the bigger ones will tend to take care of themselves. Act enthusiastic and you will be enthusiastic. So, for the second class, students have an opportunity to create a comprehensible output. Producing a UCC, user-created contest video clips as foundation and operation for the presentation in each team. But if it may be longer than that class, then they might make it outside of classroom. They could become a research group to expose the English-speaking environment in the peer group. Alright, that was about the second scene. Yes, move on. Speech children project is? Yes, thank you very much. Communication. On the Indian side, if someone says something, I forget it. If someone shows something, I might remember it. But if I participate in something, I will be sure and understanding. Speaking itself is communication, as you know. As students, communication can be improved by speaking classes, of course. And as for my English speaking classes, my students' classes are focused on speech presentation to improve communicative skill. And this is a speech one of my little students has presented. Then what I did is to give some feedback to its speech about speech delivery project. Then I will grade their final result as performance test, which is speech presentation and progress report. Alright. Like a fantasy, speaking has gone in vain without any visible mark or traces right after being spoken. But it could fill a vacant space with harmony between English and touching sound voice. After it disappears, the impression with sonority still remains in our memory, like an eternal beauty or a beam in darkness. So, the more experience, the better competence. English teachers encourage fantastic speech performances like a passionate singer's recital. It kept away perfect song, perfect dance, applause and standing ovation, and convey students moving in English speaking. Why don't you try speech delivery project in your classes? Thank you very much.
Thank you for the enlightening presentations. I was so surprised that this chair got a license of tourism interpretation. It shows that what a dedicated and passionate teacher she is. So do you have any questions regarding Ms. Cha's presentation? All right, then let's give a big hand again. All right. Finally, it is time for the last presenter for today. The last presenter is Ms. Jo Soo-mi from Koseta. The title of her presentation is Find Your Voice, How to Start Debate from Zero Through Metacognitive Strategies and Communicative Activities. So let's welcome her presentation with a big hand.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jo Soo-mi. I'm glad to be with you today. 많이 피곤하시죠? 10분만 파이팅 해주십시오. I've been teaching English in Jeju Science High School for 3 years. For the last 3 years, I've always asked myself, why do I always talk so much? Why should I be the only one to talk in the classroom? Why do they keep silent and say nothing? I felt really guilty. I felt like the sea witch is called the Little Mermaid's voice. So I with debate. The reason I chose this topic, debate, is I really want to start debate from the beginning, and I like to make debate easier and more practical, from idea to reality. Okay, what is a debate? It's a formal contest where two or more individuals present their arguments, and they should persuade one another to win. In that way, it's a kind of a game. That means it can be fun. Then, why debate? That's because it has so many advantages. It could be an effective way for students to develop 4 skills: self-management abilities, information literacy, critical thinking, problem-solving skills, and democratic citizenship, etc. Well, the real question is not why, but how. How can I bring debating activities into the classroom? You can find the answer in the learning environment with metacognitive strategies and communicative activities. First, students need metacognitive strategies. Metacognition means big thinking. It's thinking about thinking. Metacognitive strategies have to do with planning, monitoring, and evaluating a learning task. By practicing and applying these strategies, students can understand the way they are processing information, taking their thinking to a higher level. Next, students want communicative activities. That's because communicative activities are the meaningful activities where two people are exchanging information because of the communicative need caused by information gap between them. This is why people communicate in real life. Like this, students can communicate through the authentic and interesting activities. They will enjoy chatting. Before moving on, there are 2 points to be considered first. Let me show you the students' attitude to English speaking and debate. As you see, the students seem to have less confidence in persuading others by introducing themselves. However, it appears that they feel more interest in debates other than discussions. And they expect to improve their English skills through debates, document listening, and speaking. Also reading and writing. Next, this figure shows the students' learning styles. The index of learning styles is an online instrument used to assess preferences of 4 dimensions: active or reflective, sensitive or intuitive, visual or oral, and spatial or global of a learning style model. I did this survey targeted 40 students in Jeju Science High School. This indicated that about 62% of them tend towards the reflective types of learning, 70% intuitive, 93% verbal, and 55% global. Here, 93% of the students are visual learners. Isn't it surprising? Actually, I didn't expect this. Anyhow, according to study, unlike verbal learners, visual learners remember best what they see, such as pictures, diagrams, flowcharts, timelines, films, and demonstrations. So I'm going to focus on this fact that almost every student tends towards the visual learners. I'm going to carry out the research for 40 students from March to July, and I've set up 7 tasks for this research. 1. I'm going to design a gender format plate for beginners. This format follows linear and logical steps from choosing topics to writing essays, which helps the students understand natural a loud way for strategic thinkers. The think aloud ways to verbalize thought processes occurring during reading materials. It shows us what good readers do while planning, monitoring, and evaluating reading materials. 3. I'm going to utilize various teaching materials and tips for visual learners. For example, I'll introduce graphic organizers like this to help students process information logically. 4. I'm going to suggest a debate planner for EFL logical debaters. It includes opinions and reasons. Also, it has resources to defend students from opponents' attack. It will help students respond logically and immediately. 5. I'm going to adapt existing debating activities for EFL learners. Fortunately, there are already hundreds of debating activities, such as four-corners games or stakeholder debate games. Through these activities, students can learn the expressions for having opinions, giving reasons, supporting reasons, and refuting opinions. 6. I'm going to set up an ubiquitous learning environment for self-directed learners. By using the school's website for Discord, I hope students can participate more actively in debate activities outside of the classroom. They can upload materials or link sites for sharing with others. 7. I'm going to promote a cooperative work for democratic citizens. I expect all students to do their jobs as a debater, a judge, or a researcher, etc., with mutual respect and responsibility to complete their tasks. Do you think it works? Of course, a debate is a higher level of speaking activity. It's not easy. But debates can be used in any classroom, even for low or intermediate levels of students. So I just want to give it a try and take a risk. I just think they can find their own voices through debates. Thank you.
Thank you for the wonderful presentations. It was very impressive to analyze the students' learning styles to determine how to present information. So do you have any questions regarding the presentation? No? All right, thank you. I apologize for all the troubles and inconvenience caused by technical problems. So this is the end of the presentation. So thank you for your participation and cooperation.